Ladies and gentlemen, he's the samurai of student ministry, the networking ninja, a Jedi master of church budgets, the beast from the southeast, the next-gen nerd himself, CJ!
What's up, my nerds? Welcome to the Next Gen Nerd Podcast. I am CJ of House Do'Urden, and glad to have you join us today. We are doing another March Madness style bracket where we look at some of my favorite games. That's tabletop games, card games, board games, video games, console, PC, classic, new. We're going to be looking at a lot of those in just a minute. But I'm coming off of spring break, so I've spent some time watching stuff, reading stuff, playing stuff, and want to share it with you. I've got a longer list than usual, but bear with me and let me share the goodie, okay? So I'm going to start with what I've watched. Not a whole lot. You would think I watched more, but I really didn't. I spent a lot more time reading, but we'll get to that in a minute. But what have I been watching? I just finished the X-Men Classic Series, Season 5, hot garbage, but the rest of it was really good. I, in fact, had to look up, do I have to watch the rest of these? Because these are really kind of painful. And then I saw someone say, who are you kidding? The entire series was garbage. And y'all, I was not okay with that. Not okay with that. I just watched these from the beginning, and they're still fantastic. I mean, the emotion and the drama, and I love it. Love it. Really excited to watch the new X-Men 97, maybe this weekend. I'll get some time to do that. Tell you about it on the next episode. Also, I'm rewatching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with Zeke, the original. Originally, he wanted to watch all of the episodes, but I have talked him into, let's just watch the really important ones, A couple at the beginning to establish the characters, some of the big storylines, like the introduction of the Green Ranger, the introduction of Lord Zed, hitting some of those as we're kind of going through, and I think he's okay with that. But, yeah, man, reliving some childhood stuff there. I want a Dragon Zord dagger. Make that happen, okay? Make it happen. Buy it and send it to me. Y'all have got money, don't you? Maybe not? No? Okay. Well, that's what I want. I want a Dragon Zord dagger. I gotta find that. Gotta find it. And last, we started watching Avatar, the live action one. We got one episode in, and it has just been crazy life since then. So I have a feeling that Saturday we're gonna be watching one. Carrie's gonna want to watch one. Probably Saturday, maybe Sunday when she gets home from work. Probably Monday. Yeah, it'll be good. So that's what I've been watching. Reading, I told you on the last episode that I had just finished the first Drizzt Do'Urden book. Well, I've now finished the second and the third. And there's a quote in the third one that really's got me jacked up a little bit. Not in a bad way, but wow, that's some good stuff. Some good stuff. I think I'm going to use it as a jumping off point for my next Bible Thump with Love Thy Nerd, which I think comes out in May. So you have to wait till then. But it's a quote from Montolio, the ranger, the blind ranger, also called Mushi, in the third book. And yeah, it was some good stuff. So enjoyed that. I also read Decision at Thunder Rift. Decision at Thunder Rift is a MechWarrior Battletech book. And the first one that I was told I needed to read by Seth. Seth had me on his podcast, and he said, "Hey, let's talk about this book. Let's talk about playing BattleTech." And I'm kind of excited. I might want to get into this. I might want to play some BattleTech. That'd be good. Or MechWarrior. I'm good either way. Let's go. I'm fine either way. And so, yeah, so those are books-wise. Comics, too, to highlight. One is the first volume of Nightwing on the DC Rebirth. So this was after New 52. So we're talking, 2006, 2007, maybe a little later than that. But I really enjoyed it. Read it, could not put it down. It's free on Amazon Prime. Zoom, went all the way through it. Really liked it. It was good stuff. And then, yeah, a buddy of mine, Hector Mire of Faith and Fandom. If you want to buy this one, it's on Faith and Fandom. Go and pick it up. His comic Flockward, Awkward Stories of Church People, and it is youth group culture. And buddy, take this as, if you're listening, take this as the compliment that I mean it to be. But there's some of these things that I look at and it reminds me of Chick Tracts, and I go, do church people actually act that way? And they do. They do. But it's pretty neat. It's almost like you've lived this life, man. It's almost like you've been in youth group. So yeah, so it's some good stuff. Check it out. Flockward, you can find it at Faith and Fandom store. So that's what I've been reading. Still playing Hogwarts Legacy, although I haven't been able to much this week because Carrie's been hogging the dang Switch playing Hogwarts Legacy. My wife is a gamer girl. That's what she wants to play is Hogwarts Legacy. So I haven't had as much time to play, but I'm hoping to have some more time in the next couple days because I did enjoy it. I was enjoying playing it. And then my family's been playing a new board game called MonsDRAWsity. That's draw, D-R-A-W, like you're drawing a picture. And basically, we take turns being witnesses, like we saw a monster, and then we're describing it to a sketch artist, and everyone else is the sketch artist, and they're all drawing the monster while you're describing it. It's been a lot of fun. It has definitely helped us to describe things really well. So it's been neat. But those are things that I've been enjoying. What about you? What are some things that you are reading, watching, playing that you would want to share? Because I would love to hear about it. And then maybe if you want to leave me a comment on our YouTube or send me a message on Instagram, let me know. Like, these are things that I'm into. Would love to hear about it. Love to experience it with you so we can nerd out together. Sounds good. Well, I think that's that. Let's start the bracket. Let's get nerdy. All right, so this is take 2. It seems like this is what happens when I try to do these brackets. If something happens, goes wrong, and I have to do it all over again. And that's okay, because after I did the first time, I didn't really like where I landed. I think the reasons that I used to get to the final matchup was probably not the best. So I'm going to adjust a little bit on this run. So these are 32 of my favorite games. They could be PC games, console games, card games, tabletop role-playing games, board games. They're just 32 games. And yeah, there's a lot here. And so let's jump in. So I've randomized these, so we will see what moves forward. And just to kind of help, last time I used if I wanted to play it right now, which really wasn't fair because I played a lot of these games recently, and I didn't want to play those as much as I wanted to play the other ones I haven't played. So I think I'm going to say the deciding factor is typically going to be, would I rather share this game with a friend who's asking about games, or this one? Like, which one would I want to share with a friend? I think, because that's the purpose, not all games, but I think a lot of games is to share with a friend. So let's do that. So, and that may be, again, maybe that's not the best way. Yeah, we'll figure this out. But anyways, first matchup in the Northwest. It's A Link to the Past, Super Nintendo's Zelda game, versus Super Mario 64. Both of which, amazing games. Love these games. And Link to the Past, I played through several times. It's probably my favorite Zelda game. It's a really great Zelda game. And then there's Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64... played through as well. Very challenging. So which one do I pick? I think if I was going to share this with a friend or talk about this with a friend or highlight this to a friend, I think I'm going to go with A Link to the Past for a couple reasons. Number one, Super Mario 64, the control scheme is definitely frustrating. It's definitely frustrating. I'm used to it. I can play it, whatever. But there are also pieces of the game that are also incredibly frustrating, that are just difficult because they've made it difficult, not because it needed to be difficult. So for those reasons, I'm going to move A Link to the Past forward. Oh, I've got to start the tournament. Are you serious? Start tournament. Yeah. I'm going to go with A Link to the Past. That's going to move forward. I feel good about that. Why did it not let me? Oh, I know why. Because my big head's in the way. I'm going to move me down a little bit. Link to the Past. Submit. Okay. That works. Round 2, StarCraft and Injustice. StarCraft and Injustice 2. StarCraft is a real-time strategy game, space-based, alien-based, that I started playing again recently. In fact, we've got a community night coming up for Love Thy Nerd a week from tomorrow. So Friday the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, the 5th. Friday the 5th, we're going to do a community night. And I think I'm going to do a lot. Actually, I was thinking about this. A lot of these, I haven't done a whole lot of Twitch streaming. I started, I think I'm going to just play through several of these on Twitch and just kind of enjoy that time. So, yeah. Yeah, we might do some on Twitch. If you're wanting to play StarCraft, if you've never played StarCraft, it is a fairly inexpensive game. It's an older game, but it's a lot of fun, and I would love to play. Find us on Discord. Hit me up in the comments, or over on my Instagram. Let me know that you'd want to play StarCraft, and we can play some StarCraft, because I think it'd be really good. The other game, Injustice 2, is another great game. It's a fighting game. I've got a few fighting games on here. I do like versus combat games. And this one is in the DC universe, so you get to be a superhero like Flash or Batman, or you can be a villain like Ares or Atrocitus. And there's a few characters that are DC adjacent, like the Ninja Turtles and Hellboy and Scorpion, or is it Sub-Zero in number 2? I think Scorpion's in number 1, Sub-Zero's in number 2. But it's just a really fun game. I think they did a really good job of making each character feel different, the play style to feel different. I mean, that's what a good fighting game does, that the quicker characters you play differently, and I think they did a good job with that. The only character that's complete garbage on this is Captain Cold, and you can at me on that, because I definitely will take that to the grave. Like, he is awful. Like, I have tried, and he's just terrible. And I'm not talking like Dr. Boskanovich bad, like it's kind of annoying, but you can definitely still play with him. No, he's awful, Captain Cold. But my mains on that game are Green Arrow and Flash. If I want to mess with somebody, I might pick the Atom or Dr. Fate. I'm not going to win with the Atom or Dr. Fate, but I am going to drive you crazy. But I like the different mechanics for the Flash and Green Arrow specifically. The Flash has got a lot of time-bending things that he can do, which is really cool. And Green Arrow is really quick, really agile, and I enjoy being able to draw specific arrows out of my quiver and like hit you with a freeze arrow or hit you with a shock arrow. Those are both really great games. If I was going to share one of these with a friend, what's going to stand the test of time is going to be StarCraft. StarCraft is going to move forward on that one. Yep. All right, so now we got OG board game, not the original board game, but really an old board game, Clue. I have Clue, the Office Edition, which is basically the same thing. Besides an office skin, it also has, each character has a different ability they can use. Like Angela's really nosy, so you could look at someone else's clue that they revealed once a game, which makes it interesting. You can kill somebody with a Dundee, or somebody, I guess, would get killed with a Dundee, or a folder that says Mr. A Knife. It's pretty sweet. But I like Clue, and I played Clue a lot. I like the deductive reasoning of it. I remember when Carrie, my wife, saw my Clue sheet one time, and it had all these symbols, and she's like, what is this? Like, why don't you just do checks? And it's like, well, because this symbol means this, and this symbol means this, and so even if someone saw my card, it really wouldn't help them, but it helps me. I read not just the clues themselves when they're passed around, but I look and see who shared what clue, like what was the look on their, like, I go deep on that one. But Clue, great game. And then Metal Gear Solid, which is on my list to play through. I think I've got it on my little mini PS1 console. But it was a tactical game where you had to run around and hide and shoot, and there was a lot of really neat mechanics in there. I remember I was getting really frustrated because this guy's like I think her name was Meg. I can't remember. The female character on that. It's been so long since I played that. Her frequency's on the back of the CD case, and we like looked everywhere for a CD case. We were looking all in our inventory. We were looking at posters on the wall, like trying to figure it out. It was on the back of the actual game case. Little gimmicks like that were just like, oh, that's neat. I think it was Hideo Kojima. Is that who did Metal Gear Solid? There was a villain, Mantis, who could read your mind, and so you could never beat him because he read your mind. But if you take your controller out and plug it in the second player slot, all of a sudden he has no idea where you are. You vanish, and you can beat him. So, really neat game. But if I had to pick one of those to share and enjoy with a friend, it's going to be Clue. It's going to be Clue. All right. 2 board games here, Forbidden Island and Munchkin. I've got the Marvel Edition. So Forbidden Island is a cooperative game. I like playing this with my family because we're either all winners or we're all losers. And so there's not that tension as we're getting close to the game. Like, is this kid going to get really upset because they're going to lose or whatever? Like, we're all on the same team working together. So I really enjoy that. It's really fun. You have to fight all these missing treasures before the island sinks. Like, the island is sinking around you. It's pretty neat. If you want to play that game, hit me up. We can play that. It'd be a lot of fun. And then the other is Munchkin Marvel. So Munchkin was originally a Dungeons & Dragons crawler style game where you're trying to get through 10 levels of monsters to win. And they've made all kinds of skinned versions of this as well. And I really like the Marvel version. The Marvel version adds a few mechanics to it. Like, for example, you can have a sidekick or an alliance with another character. Like, you can add their abilities to you. But also what's really neat is in the Marvel version, some of the characters, it depends on the actual physical space you're playing in, what's going to happen. So, like, one of the characters, if the moon's out, like, he has extra ability. Or the Mandarin, and depending on how many rings you have on, depends on how much more damage he can do. And so I remember like packing like a bunch of rings in a bag if we are gonna play that game, so I could pull it out and be like +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like you know, both really fun games. If I had a bunch of people over at the house who were playing a game, man, I could see either one of those, but I'm going to go Munchkin Marvel. I think I would rather sit down and play that because while I enjoy cooperative games with my family, with my friends, I'm definitely going to want to have a little bit of competitive there. And I'm working with adults, you know, so I think I'm going to go Munchkin Marvel. All right. That was the Northwest. Now we're going Southwest. First matchup, Tekken Tag and Monopoly. Tekken Tag, another fighting game where you would pick 2 players to tag in and out. This is in the Tekken universe. Probably one of the fighting games that I spent the most time playing and probably am the most proficient with. There's a lot of memorization of combinations that I still have stuck up here. Down, forward, and 1, 2, and then it's 3, 4, 4, 3, 4. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But I remember, like, once I'm playing, like, it comes back. It's there. Really played this game a lot. Played with, I remember when I was in high school, we had a bunch of guys that were in college that we would hang out with. And they played this all the time, like, super competitively. And I think spending time with them, as talented as they were, caused me to have to up my game, play real hard. And so I got really good at that one. Yeah, I played that one a lot. My mains on this game started Eddie Gordo. I also like Lei Wulong. I've got a few kind of longer combinations with Lei Wulong. And then probably the most fun... I had the most fun playing with King because he had, like, a 4-string grapple where, like, once you start, like, they're gonna lose. And I remember, like, it was a whole bunch of button combinations. I felt really proficient playing that. A lot of fun. And then Monopoly. I mean, Monopoly. What can I say about Monopoly? I love Monopoly. I currently have Monopoly Junior and Monopoly Fallout Edition. I may want to get another Monopoly. I like Monopoly. Oh, I also have an old school wooden version of Monopoly. I've got one of those too. But yeah, a great game. One of the few games that I've watched a documentary on. I really enjoyed that Monopoly documentary. But that's one of those games you play when you want to lose friends. Like, I enjoy Monopoly, but if I had a choice between playing Tekken Tag where I can pass the control around and win some, lose some, and not feel so bad, or like lose a friend because I won't let up and I can't lose to them. So I think I'm going to go Tekken Tag. I would enjoy Tekken Tag, playing that for a while more than Monopoly. Monopoly's a great game, though. Great game. All right. Fallout 2 and Baldur's Gate, same... oh my gosh, have I had this thing way over here? All right, move the microphone around, so if it's a little faint earlier, I'm sorry. Hopefully this fixes it. Okay, so Fallout 2, Baldur's Gate, same generation of game, I guess. Came out about the same time. Fallout 2 is a top-down, turn-based role-playing game set in a post-apocalyptic world, my favorite world to be set in. And you build your character and you explore the California wasteland. And I really enjoyed this game. I think if I played it now, I may not as much because I've really grown to love Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. I really think I like Fallout 2 as much as I did because if you played a certain mission, you could get yourself a mafia name. But maybe I'll go back and play. I remember playing, I'm playing in high school, so I really wasn't thinking through my character choices there. Maybe I'll adjust that. But yeah, I enjoy Fallout 2. And then Baldur's Gate, Dungeons & Dragons set in a video game. And I remember we made tons of characters and played this on LAN. And another one that I think I might enjoy going back and playing through that now that I'm older and would think through my character choices better rather than just picking the one that's going to literally explode the bad guys. I'm just thinking about this. I don't know, Matt and Logan, if you remember when Pete, I think Pete paid Logan like $10 if he would click the stats button over and over again because we thought that there was some random chance that you would roll all 18s. And so, like, I think he paid you $10 and he had to keep doing that. And I think the programmers probably had some more specified coding so that couldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, there was a certain pool that it was choosing from, but yeah, I remember those days. Baldur's Gate. I have that one installed recently, so if you want to play Baldur's Gate, maybe that's what I need to do. I need to get on my peeps and us play some Baldur's Gate online. That'd be fun. Okay, so of those two, I'm going to pick Baldur's Gate. I have full faith that Baldur's Gate is a better game, and I've got another Fallout game on here somewhere, so we'll be good to go. All right. Soul Calibur and Assassin's Creed 4. I'm going to start with Assassin's Creed 4. I think the best in the Assassin's Creed, well, my favorite in the Assassin's Creed franchise, because I want to be a pirate. I really don't want to be a pirate, but I like the idea of a ship and freedom, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's a beautifully done game. I love going to the beach, and that's all this game is being at the beach in a ship. There was some really just kind of neat mechanics there with ship combat and stuff. So I really enjoyed that game, played that game a lot. We need to dust that one off again. And then Soul Calibur. So Soul Calibur is another fighting game. Yep, got a bunch of those on here. But this one was weapon-based combat. And this one really showcased what the Sega Dreamcast could do. That was, I think, why I got a Sega Dreamcast, was to play Soul Calibur. And another one that we played with a bunch of guys that were older than us, that were hanging out with Matt's older brothers, and we would play this. And yeah, that really kind of brought our skills to the forefront, having to compete against people that were smarter than us. That one, I remember I used to whip Matt West's tail in Tekken, but I remember I made the mistake of saying, I'm going to play Soul Calibur until I get to be good enough to beat you on that. And that lit a fire under Matt. Like, on occasion, growing up with Matt West, like, you would light a fire there, and you're like, that was a mistake. And that was a mistake, me saying that. And he said, you will never beat me like you beat me on Tekken. And he were right. He were right. Like, you know, that's kind of like him going out and shooting 100 free throws a night for, like, months on end, because he's like, I'm going to be the best. I think it was the same thing with Soul Calibur, like, I'm going to be the best. Yeah, two great games. Which am I going to share with a friend? I'm still going to go with the fighting game, Soul Calibur. I enjoy Assassin's Creed 4. It's a great game, wonderful game, but I want to play with friends, so Soul Calibur moves forward. Finally, Spades and Street Fighter 2. So another fighting game, and y'all are going to hate me. Y'all are going to hate me on this. My mains on Soul Calibur, if you care. I played Maxi a lot. I played Killick a lot. I played Astaroth. Oh, man. Astaroth was my jam. But anyways, Street Fighter, my mains, I played, originally it was Guile, because I thought I looked like Guile. Can you see it? I look like Guile. Blonde hair, muscles. But now I probably pick Ken. Like, I know everyone goes with Ryu. Like, I've got Ryu back here, but if there was a Ken controller holder, I would have gone with a Ken controller holder. But I do like Ryu. They're the same character, except Ken's prettier. Played that game a lot as a kid, out on the Sega Genesis. Played it at the West House on arcade cabinet. Great game. And there's Spades. Spades is a card game. Play when we go camping. Play when we went to youth camp. And that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun because you're working with a teammate. You're like looking across the table at them, like, you see what I'm saying, man? Like, can you please pick this one up? Because I can't take another one. Like, you got to take this one. I remember getting in trouble in a state park because I was laughing too loud. We were all too loud playing Spades. Like, that's a good game. It's not going to go far, but I'm going to move Spades forward. I know you're like, seriously, Soul Calibur went forward, but not Street Fighter 2? Yeah, Spades is going forward. All right, that is the West round 1 done. As has always been the case, when we get to the next rounds, we'll be off to the races. We'll slip through. But let's go on over to the Northeast. All right, so we have round 1, Saga Frontier and Fallout 3. Saga Frontier, an excellent JRPG on the PlayStation 1. Some really just neat stories, neat storytelling done there. I think it was Squaresoft. It was Squaresoft, so it was in the same studio as Final Fantasy, same studio as maybe even Chrono Trigger, now that I'm sitting here trying to think about it. But some great stories there. I just saw that when I was looking through my CD case. Like, I might need to pull that out and play, pull PS2 out, hook it up here and play. That'd be fun. And then Fallout 3. Fallout 3 I've played so much. Because I loved Fallout 2 in high school, when Fallout 3 came out and it was a 3D one where I could explore Washington, D.C., I remember creating my own maps, even though I could have Googled it, creating my own maps as to where the bobbleheads were, creating my own maps as to where the magazines were, so that I could go back and play it over and over again and know exactly where they were. I played a lot of both of those. Which one am I going to play with a friend or share with a friend? I think I'm going to go Fallout 3. There's some great stories in Saga Frontier. I love the Robo storyline there, but I'm going to go Fallout 3. All right, Rock Band 3 and Chrono Trigger. So when I did this last time, Rock Band 3 went all the way, and and it was just a kind of a coincidence. Rock Band 3, Chrono Trigger. Rock Band 3, if you don't know, was a game where it was a simulation where you played different musical instruments. That one had the drums. I had the keyboard as well. 2 guitars, microphone. Like we did it all. We did it all. I had so much fun playing that game. I have a lot of the pieces here. That'd be another game night. Really, I'm just making a list of game nights we're gonna do. Yeah, so much fun. A huge catalog of songs that weren't even sold like with the game. Like you had to pay like $1 extra for like these different songs, and I spent so much money on Rock Band songs. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Chrono Trigger, another JRPG. I think I've got like 4 of them on this side. The East, I guess that makes sense. It's all about the JRPGs. JRPG, stands for Japanese role-playing game. So it's Japanese style role-playing game. Chrono Trigger is probably the best Super Nintendo game that's ever existed. I play through that game. I have it on my phone. I have it on tablet. I have it on Super Nintendo emulators. I play through that once every couple years. Just played through it a couple months ago. And it's just a really well-told story, great mechanics. And the first time you hear Lumineer, like if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about, Lumineer, when it was like, where's your shot? So good. All right, Rock Band 3 went really far, but really, again, if I'm sharing this with a friend, I really like Rock Band 3, but I feel kind of like a dork when I'm playing the drums because I think I look cooler than I really do. And I feel like that would be very arrogant of me to like, let's put Rock Band 3 out and you see how good I am at the drums. So I'm going to go Chrono Trigger. All right, Dungeons & Dragons: The Shadow of the Colossus. Dungeons & Dragons, if you don't know about Dungeons & Dragons, crawl out of the rock, out from under the rock you live in, live under, whatever. Dungeons & Dragons, it's a tabletop role-playing game where you play fantastical characters in a fantastical world that do fantastical things. Yeah, I love D&D. I am really blessed to have a group of guys that I play with on Tuesday nights, play Dungeons & Dragons. I play a Halfling Ranger right now. Actually, a Halfling Ranger Artificer, which has been a whole lot of fun playing with them and hanging out with them and getting to actually be a character. A lot of times, because I am the one that enjoys that experience, I put a lot of the effort into crafting the game, and so I don't get to play as much, and so it's been a lot of fun. So Hearth and Hammer, Tuesday nights, 8:30 Central Time. Check us out. We have a good time. Even if you're not there, we'll have a good time, but we'll enjoy having you. Love Dungeons & Dragons. Played for a long time. Will play for a long time. Great game. Shadow of the Colossus, a PS2 classic, PS2 gem, where you are trying to defeat these giant monsters. Like, think like mechanical King Kong, or yeah, but not like a violent, kind of just like, yeah, like a protector. I guess that's still kind of King Kong. But you're having to defeat them so that you can gain enough power to bring your love who has died back to life. And so you and your horse go riding and to defeat these monsters. And man, it's a beautiful game. I saw that one in my CD case too when I was looking through stuff. Yeah, 2 great games. If I'm going to share one though, it's going to be Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons, excellent. Moving forward. All right, Ocarina of Time, our second Zelda entry. Ocarina of Time was the Nintendo 64 Zelda. There are a couple places in that game that are hailed as some of the worst game making possible, but I still love them. The Water Temple, yeah, it's frustrating. I love the Water Temple. Great game. I would love to do a randomized version of this. If anybody knows how to do the randomizer, like I've tried, I can't figure it out. Like, help me out. I want to do a randomizer. I'll stream it, whatever. I would like to play that again. Ocarina of Time, great. And then Catan, Settlers of Catan, however you want to pronounce it. Oh man, such a fun game. Played this so much at youth camp that we started making up like new rules to try and change the stakes. 2 really great games. 2 really great games. But I'll say this, I don't know that I've had more fun than playing Catan with like 4 other buddies or 5 other buddies, just hanging out. Like Catan, that's some good stuff. So Catan's going to move forward. I love Ocarina of Time. It made my list of 32, but it's going to fail there. All right, so that was the Northeast. Now, the Southeast. Halo 2, excellent game. Better than the first. First was an amazing game, groundbreaking, earth-shattering game. Halo 2, even better. In fact, I came into my wedding reception to the Halo 2 theme with the guitars. Great song. Man, Halo 2 is a lot of fun. That was a good game. I remember playing those games land on Xboxes back in the day, having like a whole bunch of giant CRT tube TVs. that was it, man. Like, I enjoy playing online now, but it is not the same as when you had a bunch of people over and pizza and hanging out. Like, yeah, that's some good stuff. We need to do that again. That's some good stuff. And then Diddy Kong Racing. Is this the only? No, I have one more racing game that's coming up. Not many racing games. I enjoy racing games, but Diddy Kong Racing for the Nintendo 64, excellent game. I remember when I found this one on my arcade machine, playing with my kids, and they're like, "Oh, this will be fun," and I'm like, "I will destroy you." And so I'm like, drifting around the turns and hitting all the boosts and making sure I'm saving up for the third level missile where I've got the 10 shot. Bah, 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 bah. So yeah, Diddy Kong Racing, great game. Man. See, I would love to play Halo 2 again now to see if it holds up to what I remember. If it does, it definitely wins, but I can't guarantee it. But I have played Diddy Kong Racing recently, and it is good. Like, it is still good. And I'm looking at the rest on this side. I mean, this one could go. This one could go to the Final Four. All right, I'm going to have to hold to my memory what it was. Halo 2, LAN. Man, I want to do that again. Halo 2. That one's going to move forward. All right, Monster of the Week, another tabletop role-playing game. This one set in a modern-day setting. It's more of a mystery kind of thing where you're trying to solve puzzles, figure out what the monster is, figure out how to kill the monster. I run a game, a monthly game of this on the last Friday of the month if you want to check it out. We play different characters, or I lead the story, and the next adventure, I think we're going to be in an Escape the Room. I'm still trying to see if I can make that work. But it's a lot of fun. It's a tabletop role-playing game, like Dungeons & Dragons, but in a different setting. And then Assassin. Assassin goes by many names. It goes by Mafia, it goes by Werewolf. It's a social deception game where one or two of the players are trying to assassinate the rest of the players, and everyone else trying to figure out who it is, like who's doing this. And it's a lot of fun, man. Some good memories playing Assassin. And shout out to John Rappa and his British game runner voice. Really high pitched. It's good stuff, man. Some good stuff. We need to get those guys together and play Assassin again. But if I'm going to pick a game to move forward as one of my favorite games, if I had to pick one of these to play, I would much rather play with that same group. Play Monster of the Week. I don't want to play Monster of the Week. All right, Smash Up. Smash Up is a card game, deck building game where you take two armies like zombies and sharks, mix them together, and you make zombie sharks. Or you take the Star Lords, which is the off-brand Star Wars that they use, and the Tiny Monsters, which is the off-brand Pokemon, and you mix them together, and you have Star Lord Tiny Monsters. It's a lot of fun. You learn new combinations, new ways to play. I have, I think, all the expansions except for maybe one or two. There's a lot of fun ones, and I remember playing with certain people that had like their go-tos. That would be so frustrating. Not because they were being annoying, but because they were really good matchups. I didn't really want to tell them. So Ryan Felton, if you're listening to this, man, your aliens, time thieves or whatever, time travelers, that was a good matchup, man. That was a good smash up. That was dang near unbeatable. Excellent. But no, it's a great fun game. Love that game. And then Final Fantasy VII, another JRPG. You see, I've got kind of a typical game I like to play. I do like a good story. Final Fantasy VII just recently remade, following Cloud, and he is trying to defeat Sephiroth. Another really, really good game. That one's also on my PS1 mini console. Maybe I'll pull that out and play as well. I saw the case for Smash Up, and I was like, man, I need to pull that out again. That would be fun. So if I'm going to share one of these with a friend, I'm going to share Smash Up. All right, last of the first round battles, Episode 1 Racer. That's your Star Wars Racer. I played it much more on the Nintendo 64 console than in the arcade. But man, how awesome would it be if I could get a hold of a dang arcade cabinet with the dual handle thruster? Like, man, that'd be so much fun. Carrie, can you authorize? It's going to be $1,000 at least. But I would love to have that. Man, I got a spot for it. It's right here, right there, man. Anyways, but I played that game so much on the N64, and I remember my goal on those first few levels was to lap the second place racer. Like, to go so fast that I would be a lap ahead of everybody else. It's been ported to the Xbox, it's been ported to Nintendo Switch, I've got it on both of those. But yeah, that's That's a really good game, a really fun game. And then the second, it says Battlefront. I meant to change it. I meant Battlefield 2. I remember playing Battlefield 1942, World War II, loving that game. Then we got Battlefield Vietnam, which really wasn't the greatest of games, but we had so much fun because it had helicopters. And so that really sparked in me wanting to be really good at flying the air vehicles, keyboard and mouse. Like, I remember that some of us had, like, joysticks, and I just wanted to be able to do it keyboard and mouse. And so when Battlefield 2 came out, and now you have Harrier jets, you have aircraft carriers. I remember my goal was to be able to land a jet on the aircraft carrier, not hovering like with the Harrier jets to land. Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun playing that game. Land. I would just wish we could have added bots. Like, we tried a few times. It was not as easy to do that, but great game. But oh man, if I'm gonna pick a game to share with a friend, I think I'm gonna pull out Battlefront 2 or Battlefield 2. Battlefield 2, I want to play that one again. All right, so round one's done. Let's go ahead and clean up shop. Let's go. Yeah, let's go to the Sweet 16. We're gonna zip through this. I'm gonna go back to the top. Link to the Past and StarCraft. I'm moving StarCraft forward. That'd be so much fun to play with some buddies. Clue and Munchkin Marvel. I'm going to go Munchkin Marvel. Clue hurts my head sometimes because I'm thinking so hard because I'm so smart. Maybe not. But Munchkin Marvel, that'd be a lot of fun. Tekken Tag and Baldur's Gate. I'm going Baldur's Gate. I want to play that tonight. I want to play that now. And Soul Calibur and Spades. Okay. Soul Calibur and Spades. Soul Calibur and Spades. I'm going to go Spades. Spades is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Spades. All right. Fallout 3 and Chrono Trigger. Fallout 3 and Chrono Trigger. It's not fair because I just played Chrono Trigger, so I want to play Fallout 3 more. Man. All right, I'm going to push Chrono Trigger through. I really want to play Fallout 3 more. I think I would enjoy it, but if someone goes like, what's a great game, a great old game I can play, I'm going to say Chrono Trigger. I mean, it is a great game. And then D&D and Catan. I love Catan, but I'm going to pick D&D. D&D for the win. That would be so much fun. Halo 2, Monster of the Week. Same reason for D&D. I'm going to... No, I'm going Halo 2. Halo 2, I want to land, like, this Friday. Like, if someone said, hey, we've got a Halo 2 land this Friday, or we've got a Monster of the Week game that's going on, I'm going to go Halo 2. I'm going Halo 2. That's where I want to be. That right there is going to be a fun time. And then Smash Up or Battlefield 2, it's going to be Smash Up. I love Battlefield 2, but Smash Up's a good game. All right, so now we're in the Elite 8. Elite 8... Whew, there's some good picks. There's some good picks if I do say so myself. And I did pick them, so maybe I shouldn't say that, but I do. Okay, Elite 8, back to the top. StarCraft and Munchkin Marvel. I'm going to go StarCraft. Yeah, definitely StarCraft. Baldur's Gate or Spades. I'm going to go Baldur's Gate. Chrono Trigger or D&D. I'm gonna go D&D. I'm gonna go D&D. I'm gonna go D&D. I don't think no one's gonna fight me on that one. I mean, nobody's gonna fight me on that one. D&D. And then Halo 2 or Smash Up. I'm gonna go Halo 2. Again, the draw of Mountain Dew, Totino's Pizza Rolls, and a rocket launcher. Yeah. All right. Here's our final four, and that's some stuff right there. Okay, StarCraft and Baldur's Gate. I love both these games. I'm thinking right now, if I would have thought of this, I may have suggested Baldur's Gate. You know why I suggested StarCraft? I suggested StarCraft because I had a dream that we were all playing StarCraft, but we were playing it in the style of revealing our characters at a Session 0 at Dungeons & Dragons, where I was like, so I'm a Terran, but I'm like a Terran who likes to, like, really use ground vehicles, you know, and so it made me laugh when I woke up and said, I want to play some StarCraft. But I'm going to do Baldur's Gate. Multiplayer Baldur's Gate. Multiplayer's Baldur's Gate would be excellent. And so on the other side, I'm going to go Halo 2. I probably should go D&D. But again, if someone was saying we got a D&D game or we got 4 old TVs with Halo 2 and all your boys are there, I'm going to go play Halo 2. I'm going to play Halo 2. So Wow. Baldur's Gate or Halo 2. Did not see this matchup coming. Halo 2 was a throwaway. Kali, Dark Horse coming out of nowhere. And Baldur's Gate. Wow. Okay, so here we go. Final matchup. Baldur's Gate, Halo 2. Okay, so I'm picturing this. Let's start removing some variables. Okay, so we're going to put these both in we're all in the same room. So we're not doing online Baldur's Gate. We're doing the same room, computers all right there. Okay, so that's good. I like that. Yeah, when I do that, that really levels that playing field really fast. I mean, because if let's say I've got five or six that I'm playing Baldur's Gate, we're all in the same room, we're all on the same team, we're like charging forward, like cast fire, like yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. That'd be a lot of fun. And then Halo. Wow. I did not think this was gonna be this difficult. This is okay. So Halo 2, benefit of Halo 2, you can play a couple games, have a little pizza, play a couple games, have a little pizza. Whereas Baldur's Gate, like, you got to be in it for hours. And do I want to sign up for a weekly Baldur's Gate game while we go through all the... I don't know. Wow, okay. All right. I got to go back to my roots on this one. Yeah, I'm going Nerd Wars. I'm going, what my role there. My role there was massive multiplayer platform parties, playing on game consoles, and Halo 2 was our bread and butter. So, Halo 2 is going to be my top game right now. That's my top game. Now I know what I have to play this weekend. Now I know. Man, I'm going to have so much fun with that. I'm going to make Zeke play. Oh, it's going to be so good. He's not going to know what hit him. Yeah, so there we go. My favorite game. Didn't see that one coming. Hope you guys enjoyed. So I was trying to think through what I want to talk about relating to my favorite games, as I've been trying to do, is talking about different pieces of my life, my faith, kind of in pertinence to what we would talk about. And I think what I'd like to just dive into right now is the idea of playing a game, being somebody you're not, doing something you can't typically do. I mean, even those of you that really like, playing sports games, which, do anybody still play those anymore? Do those even still come out? But, like, you don't play as, like, you play as, like, somebody who can do something you can't do. And even if you play as you, like, you've souped that character up to a place where you could never be, right? So, like, you like being something that you're not. Like, you're escaping. That's why you're playing a game, is so you can be something different. And I'm reminded of how I can be sometimes, being somebody that I wasn't made to be. Being somebody who the Lord hasn't made me to be, so that I can be liked by others. I can do that easily. I can turn a switch on and become somebody different and become somebody likable. Play the game. Like, I even use that phrase. I've talked about playing the game so that I don't say what I'm thinking. I don't say what I'm feeling. I just do kind of what's going to keep everybody copacetic. And that's not necessarily to say that you have to be 100% honest all the time to a fault. I think that there are times where you need to keep your honest thoughts to yourself and not share those. So don't quote me on that and say, well, CJ said that I can say it because it's true. Not necessarily. You can say some really hurtful things that are true and not say it in love. But I think about church, and I think about our faith, and I just was reading in Galatians, and just the purpose of the law, and those that tried to keep the law, and they wanted to keep the law not because they loved the Lord. Maybe some did, but a lot of times it was to make themselves look like something they weren't, to make themselves look perfect, to make themselves look clean. And Paul's like, you're missing the point. And Paul, more than anyone, tried to, or maybe not more than anyone, but he's a great example of someone who tried to keep all those laws and commandments, and look at what a great person I am. Look at what a great Jew I'm being. And so he played the game. And church is the same today as it was, I think, probably the first time they met. There were some people that came and they wanted to see the Lord and they wanted to be changed by the Lord and they wanted to follow the Lord. And then there were some that came to play the game. And just thinking about my own walk in church and where we're at now, and one of the things we love about our church now, not that it's not the same at our old church, but we love the genuine searching, the genuine questioning, the genuine wrestling with their faith that we see in some of our church family. That they will tell you, I messed that one up. They'll tell you, I dropped the ball there. They'll tell you, I'm just trying to figure this out. And loving the Lord and moving towards the Lord, and we just love the authenticity of people being who God made them to be, being who God has, where they have put them in that moment. And so thinking about playing the game, thinking about being somebody we're not, that's one thing that it's a double-edged sword for me. Part of me is not trying to play that game, and be who God made me to be, but it's sometimes hard to differentiate between who God made me to be and who I made me to be. We're having breakfast with our pastor and his wife this weekend, and they're wanting to know kind of how we want to serve, and I want to tell them I want to serve everywhere, and I have to ask myself, is that because the Lord has made me to serve everywhere, or the Lord has made me to serve in these capacities, or is it CJ who maybe doesn't need it? I don't know. I have to sit there and war with that, war with wanting to be someone else, want to be who God made me to be. And I know this is rambling, and I didn't really plan a whole lot here, but I just wonder sometimes what it is in me that wants to do some of these things. Is it the prompting of the Lord? Like preach. I miss preaching. I miss spending time looking into God's word and sharing what God's been sharing with me. And of course I can do that in an individual conversation. Of course I can do that. But I miss that. But do I miss that because that's what the Lord put in me? Is that the fire that the Lord put in me? Or do I miss that because I enjoyed doing that? Like it brought me joy. And is there something wrong with that? I don't know. But I'll say this. Being where we're at now at church, and after reading Galatians and just thinking through true, honest, genuine faith, I don't want to play a game where I'm not being honest. I can easily slip in that direction, but I want to be what God has made me to be. I want to be who God has made me to be. I want to take the gifts that God has given me and use them for Him, not for building up my platform, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to spend time on these shows being honest about who I am with Jesus, being honest with who I am in my relationship with Christ. And so I want to do these things. I enjoy playing games. I enjoy escaping from the pain or the monotony that can come from this life. I enjoy being able to pretend. I enjoy that. But in all the things that matter, I want to be who God wants me to be. So take that how you want, how you will, and we'll see what we talk about next time. I appreciate you guys hanging out on the show, spending time with us. I know that I've got one more bracket I want to do, so it'll be after March, because this is obviously going to drop like the second to last day of March. One more bracket that I want to do, and then I've got some interviews coming. I've got an episode coming up on Gravity Falls with Sis from Sis and Big Pop's Culture, one of my favorite podcasts. Love that show. But we're going to be talking about that. I've got a show about the new Masters of the Universe cartoon that I'm looking forward to chatting about that with my buddy Al Paulson. We've got an episode of Fallout coming with John Rappa. I've got several shows that are coming up, and if you've got something you want to talk about, hit me up. I would love to talk with you about those things. Got a few others that I'm trying to kind of coordinate. But yeah, I'm looking forward to spending some time talking with some friends about nerdy things, but also talking to them about things that matter. So excited about those things. If you want more Next Gen Nerd, you can go to our website, nextgennerd.com, where we have all of our old episodes up there. If you can find us on all the socials at nextgen_nerd. On our YouTube, I've got some old sermons that I gave that are up there, as well as a lot of these episodes in video form. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple iTunes podcasts, give us 5 stars, write a review. That helps others to really find the show, and really appreciate that. And if there's anything I can do to help you excel in your nerdiness or in your relationship with Jesus, hit me up. I would love to talk with you about it more, and I appreciate you guys. So I think that's it for now. Until next time.
Peace out, Seacrest.